Hey guys, this is Verneer, and I'm joined here by my friend Brian Rue, or Hookem148, a former mid-stakes player who is going to help me walk through this hand that I played at my current level, which is 5 no limit. So in this specific hand, I raise Ace Jack suited, get flatted by the big blind who's playing 30-21 over 46 hands. So kind of a small sample size, but definitely an active player over that stretch. And I get min 3-bet by a player who so far has played fairly passively post flop, where he limped a lot pre flop. I would isolate him in position, and then he would end up check folding on a variety of flops. It's happened 3 times now. So I decide to flat because I am A, in position, B, I'm getting a ridiculously good price on my money, and C, I expect to see a three-way pot with Phoenix 7 getting an even better price on his money, completing and playing with position on both of us. So it's exactly what happens. And we go to the flop, 4-6-8. Beaver Nuts checks. At this point, I decide to check it because just because I don't really have a hand and I don't really know where I stand. So pre-flop
And
I called. Go ahead, Brian.
and we have so little money invested. There's definitely no reason. A lot of people will sometimes want to take a stab here just because the guy to your right checked. Um, but definitely we have so little money invested. There's no reason to build a pot here without a hand.
Right. And people play weird, like Beaver Nuts could still check raise here. But anyhow, I decide to check, and it goes checks around. And the turn is essentially a gin card for me, the jack. Beaver Nuts checks, and I decide to bet about half the pot, mostly because I think Beaver Nuts is really weak here. After checking twice, I'm putting him on something like Ace King and Ace Queen. I think if he had an overpair, he might bet. So I decide to bet an amount which could get potentially Phoenix or Beaver Nuts both to call, drawing very, very slim. Um, when we talked about this hand a little bit earlier, Brian, you mentioned that you like a bigger bet size on the turn.
I like a bigger bet size here, only because it's three-way, and I like your bet size given Beaver Nuts here to your right, given his actions. But we also have a guy behind Phoenix behind you whose range is still undefined. He could have possibly a worse jack. He could have 9-10. He could have pocket fives, pocket sevens, hands that will continue to just about any turn bet. So for that reason, I would probably bet more something like 70 cents, only because it is a three-way pot. As far as this 40-cent bet definitely isolates Beaver Nuts with just a small bet that you think that most of his range will peel off and try to catch a good river card.
So Phoenix folds, and we go to Beaver Nuts ends up calling, and we go to the river. It's a two. He checks, and now I'm putting him pretty much on a hand like Ace King. I think if he had nines or tens, he would have bet at some point. And um, Ace King, he might have a hand like Ace Queen. So pretty much he has some kind of ace high as far as I'm concerned. So I want to bet an amount. I think if you make a standard value bet here, he's just going to fold. So I want to make an amount which he could potentially frustratingly call with ace high or potentially induce a spaz raise. So I
Definitely.
decide
Yeah,
to bet 50 cents.
yeah, and definitely given the way how passively he's played, I think standard value bets of like a dollar into this pot are just going to fold him out 99% of the time. Whereas if you bet so small that he can make a crying call, or like you said, possibly induce a bluff raise out of him.
Do you think 50 cent is small enough, or would you like something like 25-cent bet here?
I like 50. I think anything bigger than that would be a little too much, but 40 to 50 would be what I think might induce a call. 25, I mean, 25 essentially is 40 to 50 cents. So you're betting the most amount of money that you think a hand like ace high will call, therefore maximizing your value.
Okay,
And
good.
it's still small enough that he could perceive it as a weak bet and spaz bluff raise you.
He did end up folding, but I still think that maybe aside from the turn bet, uh, pre-flop, flop, betting the turn for sure, and then small bet on the river kind of maximized my value versus their overall ranges. So, all right, well, thanks for talking this hand out with me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
So this video was part of a series of videos which I'm going to be producing on, a lot of them are going to be on Full Tilt Poker, where I'm trying to take $100 and turn it into $1,000 playing cash games in 2010, starting at the very lowest stakes, as you can see, 5 no limit there. If you want more info and just want to read about some strategy or looking for a way to contact me, my address is blogs.cardrunners.com /Verneer. That's my online handle. So hope you enjoyed it.